Warning. Warning. Okay everyone, if you are at all squeamish, this video contains content that may be unsettling to some. Be forewarned, this is actual video of a tooth being pulled at home. Backyard scrapping is in no way suggesting that you ever attempt this. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not try this at home. You have been warned.
Well, hey guys, backyard scrapping here. As you well know from my last video, I was in the hospital. I had some heart issues going on, and I've been taking it easy. It's been several days now, but Cheryl and I were both curious about what caused this event, and I'm going to make this one more quick video about some health issues and things. And then I'm going to start doing a few scrapping videos here at the bench for a little bit until we get back out to the lab. But anyway, we got to doing some research on this, and she had a problem with a couple of her teeth a while back, and it seemed to be causing some other issues. Anyway, when she got the teeth pulled, it got cleared up, or everything cleared up. So anyhow, as many of you know, I make my own plates or my own, dentures or partials, whatever you want to call them, because I think it's ridiculous what they charge to do this. But I also have pulled 11 of my own teeth. Now, I do not recommend anybody do this, and there is a process to doing it. You can't just take a pair of pliers and pull a tooth. You literally have to work that tooth, keep working it and getting it loose and getting it loose. The pressure it takes to pull a tooth can be anywhere from 50 to 600 N, which is about little over 11 pounds of pressure up to 600 pounds of pressure. Or not 600 pounds, 600 N, which is about say high 130s, 138, 139 pounds of pressure. So it just depends on how, on how tight or how loose the tooth is. So in order to do it without causing a lot of injury and tearing the gum out, what I do is if it's an upper tooth or wherever the tooth is, I actually just take it. I actually have this to refine. This is a partial that was in some scrap with some other scrap that was to get this, see if this is palladium or silver or what it is. But anyway, I'm going to refine this. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is you got to start working the tooth, and the tooth is going to be solid at first. And it takes a while to do this. Now if you have a problem, I have a little bit of a gum problem, that the tooth is loose and it starts to hurt, so it's actually easier. But you actually have to just continuously do this. Well, before I went in the hospital, and on and off, I've been having these flip-flops with my heart. I've had it my whole life, but over the last month it got worse. I had a couple 3 episodes where it just went in and stayed into that real high rate for a long time, but then it passed. I think the longest was about 3 hours until this time it didn't stop, and I had to go to the hospital. But anyway, I had an upper tooth that was bothering me, and like I said, I've pulled 11. This one's going to be 12. And you got to work it. You have to get the tooth to move. If you're going to safely pull it, I'm not going to say you, because I'm not suggesting that anybody do this. I say go to a dentist. I mean, it does hurt a lot, and you have to tolerate a lot of pain for quite a while doing this. But sometimes, hell, it takes a month or longer to get in to see the dentist. But anyway, that tooth needs to move in all directions about 1/4 of an inch before I would even consider it to pull my own tooth, because that's going to take the least amount of force to pull it. If the tooth is solid in your mouth, it's going to take that almost 140 pounds of pressure. You're not going to be able to stand that. I don't know. I know in the old days they did it, but I don't know how they did it. That had to hurt like hell. But anyway, long story short, it's a preparation, and like I said, sometimes it takes sometimes weeks or even months to get into a dentist. Also, I have pulled these teeth mainly because of gum. A gum problem. It was actually from smoking. I smoked. I was a heavy smoker for a long time. I don't smoke anymore, but the smoking is actually why I lost or am losing my teeth. Anyway, it has to move in all directions. So 1/8 of an inch this way and 1/8 of an inch that way is 1/4 of an inch. So you have to be able to move this tooth pretty much around 1/4 of an inch. I wouldn't attempt pulling one any tighter than that. Also, you have to hear it crack and popple, or I wait to hear the tendons in the tooth actually tear. A little at a time, you'll hear them break and pop. And it's painful, but it's not bad. The painful part's pulling the tooth. But anyway, I've come up with a way to do it. Basically, here's your tooth. And some are rooted, single rooted, some are double rooted. And again, only if the tooth is not broken, damaged, or cavities. If anything like that is involved with the tooth, then I wouldn't even attempt to pull it, because if it breaks or these roots break off, you're in trouble. The tooth has to be a healthy tooth, and it has to be more or less of a gum problem. But what I do, I actually saw a video that gave me this idea, is where a guy just kind of tied a string around the tooth, and then had the string going down, and he pulled the tooth like this. Well, I tried that, and believe it or not, that was incredibly painful. And the reason being is when you tie this string around, you'll see the old timers where they tied it around a doorknob and slammed the door to pull a tooth out. Well, when you have it like this, you're actually pitching the tooth. It'll go at an angle where that's pulling, which pitches it way over, which actually pulls it sideways out of your mouth. And that about will blow your eyeballs out. So what I actually did was I modified this, and I actually did the same thing going that way, so that I put a lasso around each side so that I had an even pull straight out, so that I'm going in this direction, instead of actually pulling the tooth in that direction, which pushes this and this up into the gum, and it hurts more. Anyway, I'm just showing you this. I'm fixing to do it. Anyhow, I said I was doing this because we were doing some research on this A-Fib and this tachycardia that I went into, and come to find out, we found several reputable articles and things on the internet. I'm not going to give any addresses or anything. Y'all can go look that up for yourself if you want to see it, because once again, I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm just showing you what I did and how I do it, because like I said, I make my own teeth, my own plates, and I also, if possible, pull my own teeth. And come to find out, this infection, or particular infection that you can get from this tooth problem, which again is probably from smoking. I'm past the smoking stage. I don't smoke anymore. Anyway, it can actually affect your heart rate. It can put you in an A-Fib state or whatever. And I'm sure there's cardiologists. My cardiologist is going to be pissed off when he finds out I did this, because he put me on blood thinners. But I waited to the end of the day, or that dose of blood thinner. In other words, I didn't do it when I took the blood thinner in the midtime. I waited to the very end of the potency of the blood thinner to pull this tooth. Or I'm waiting to the end to pull this tooth, because I don't want to bleed severely or end up back in the hospital. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to show you this. I'm going to go ahead and pull it, get set up, and pull the tooth out. And if anybody is squeamish or whatever, I suggest you don't watch this part. And so I'll get back at you when we are ready to do this. So you guys will see my ugly mug and a tooth flying out of it here in just a second. So we'll be back at you in a bit. Okay, here we go. I need something to tie this to. I've got my little lasso made on both sides. There it is. Okay, guys, there it is. It took me a few minutes to get over things, but anyway, there it is. I'm going to try and get up here so you can see that the tooth actually was really in good condition. It was a tooth that I did have a filling in. I don't know if you can see right there the filling. Whoops. But anyway, so it did come out. I did take a little bit of flesh material or gum, so I actually really didn't have it loose enough. I mean, I thought it was moving pretty much like, you know, the full 1/4 inch before I took it out, but I did rip a little bit. It bled, but it did not bleed bad. So my waiting, and I just got done taking my pills. I took them immediately after because I waited because I didn't want my blood thinner to be kicked in. But anyway, there it is. So it can be done. I again don't suggest that anybody do this. It is very painful. It'll cross your eyes, and if you do it wrong and you break this root, you are going to be in serious trouble. But, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. And when you don't have $2,000 or $3,000 to have teeth pulled, and then another $2,000 or $3,000 to, you know, to have plates made, you know, you find your way around this stuff. And just because I do refining doesn't mean I'm rich. You know, I am on Social Security, but my Social Security, there's a little bit left after paying my mortgage. So, you know, any money or any extras or anything I make, you know, is going to survive just like it is for all of us. So, guys, again, don't try this at home. I'll get on a couple little scrapping videos here in a bit, and I'm going to give this probably another few days. Actually, the second this thing came out of my head, I seemed to start feeling better. You know, I was having a few little flutters here and there, and they seemed to clear right up. So, I don't know, you know, go check it out on the net. I mean, it was hard for me to believe that, you know, a tooth could cause a problem like that, but they had no answers for me at the hospital. None. There was no blockages, there was no issues, there was no damage, there was no whatever, you know, to explain why that happened. And come to find out, you know, there it is on the internet that, you know, something as simple as well, not really simple, but something like a tooth or a tooth infection or a gum infection could cause that. So anyway, guys, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll get back at you with some scrapping videos here in a bit. So we will see you all in the next video.